everybody. This is Cindy Allen, Editor-in-Chief of Interior Design. Two of our Best of Design 2020. A 2-week-long online design event honoring the best in design. A combination film festival, awards platform, thought leadership, and a big old bash bringing the community together. So exciting, right? And this week, we celebrate the much anticipated Best of Year Awards. And for the very first time, listen up, and we're starting today, day one. We are honoring the next generation that will shape our world in the future. Oh yes, today we celebrate the best of student design. Are you ready? I am. First, a huge thanks and a virtual hug to our Best of Student Design sponsor, our good friends at Pottery Barn. Thank you. I want to give a heartfelt thanks to my friends at Turf, who created this lovely behind me, the custom backdrop, just for me. Can you imagine collaborating all over Zoom, just like you're doing, but partnering with them was a joy. This gorgeous wall panel is called Reed. And here are the specs, because I know you're going to ask me. It's 9mm felt. It's available in 30 different colorways, completely modular, custom, and has great acoustic performance. A huge thanks, Turf. And finally, thank you to our Best of Year sponsor, Claris, who created this year's winner award. So let's face it, this year it would have been easy to just say no awards this year. There's no in-person event, our bulbs are costly to make, and heavy and bulky to ship all across the globe. But no. We wanted something special for you, and Claris raised their hand. It's been an amazing experience designing this award with them. We wanted something flat and shippable, so they used their UV print technology, Color Drop, made the panels fun and customizable. So you see, you can play around with the order of the glass, but you still see our signature light bulb. Oh, and when we were just about done, I asked, can we make it light up? And without missing a beat, Claris said yes. And voila, the whole award glows. Thank you, Claris. Okay, I just want to show all of you out there that 23 schools around the globe entered. Pretty impressive. And proving design has no boundaries, there are 17, count them, 17 countries represented. Wow. So students, as we get started, these are the rules of the game. Dance and shout when you win, take selfies, be creative, and post on social using the hashtag IDBoyAwards, and tag Interior Design Mag, and tag me at the Cindygram, and let's spread the design love around. Okay, everybody, this is what we did. We selected the best of the best, and what you're about to see are 16 designers from 13 different schools. The Best of Year student winners are, and here we go. From Pratt Institute in our beloved Brooklyn, our Best of Year student award goes to Nan Zhu, who, by the way, is graduating in the end of May 2021. Nan designed Va, a foldable double seat inspired from a Chinese ancient structure. And she's showing us how easy it is to put it together. Her material of choice was plywood. She explains that the structure is simple and doesn't have any pivot or hardware, but uses its own joints to stay together. So, two can sit comfy, and there's extra space for your things. And then just fold it flat for easy storage. Va! So clever. Congrats, Nan. Next up, from the Maastricht Academy of Fine Arts and Design in the Netherlands, our Best of Award is Sang Niederweiser, who just graduated in July 2020. And his design is called Volare, a series of light objects of knitted cylinders in an oak frame using tension. His material exploration was oak, pure silk, copper wire, PLA, and LED. And the tension is created with 3D printed shapes and copper wire. And the copper wire also acts as a conductor of electricity. Yep, it's electric. Our next creative mind comes from SCAD, the Savannah College of Art and Design, our good friends at SCAD. And our Best of Year Student Award goes to Armando Mora Medina, graduating in May of 2021. And his design is a chair called Walkie. I mean, come on. Walkie captures a person walking and challenges the rigidity and monotony existing in design by adding movement and energy. So there. Armando uses ash and walnut. And he explains that when walkie is multiplied within a space, it provides a sense of social activity. They look like they're walking and talking. Plus, check out the playful shoes. Armando, you are walking the walkie. Now, from Southwest University of Science and Technology in China, we honor, this is Di Lu, and his Best of Student Design Award is a series of small objects. This one is a vase-like tissue box. Because how many ugly tissue boxes do we have lying around? Well, not anymore. And Dee explains that each tissue pulled out creates a unique pattern. And the box is made of degradable plastic. Next up is his complete plate. And look, the plate has a shallow soy sauce tank that surrounds the plate and forms the shape of O. For his pencil sharpener, the designer gets inspiration from the crumbs. Rotate the pencil and a beautiful and unique flower is gradually generated. Wow. And finally, the tulip pattern candle holder. Just take the lighted match and head down the gap between the petals to make it easy to light the candle. Dee's attention to the detail and creating objects of beauty make his work very special. I mean, how talented are these students? Wow. More creativity, this time from the American University of Sarja in the United Arab Emirates. And we have Rand Al Dre, and her Best of Year Student Award is for Dai, a stunning lamp that draws inspiration from the gaff tree, a symbol of tolerance, and the evergreen tree of the Arabian Gulf. The base follows the topography of the desert sand formation. The frilled oval element diffuses the light, and the resin visually refracts the trapped dried gaff leaves and allows for hidden moments of discovery. This is stunning. Now students, are you high-fiving in your living room? Well, go on social and share. Be creative. Oh, Canada is next with the School of Architecture, University of Waterloo in Cambridge. And this Best of Year Student Award goes to a collaboration. And our designer trio is Kelsey Rose Dawson, Mia Milanovic, and Nathaniel Shefflin, graduating end of August 2021. And the design that they're holding is Twisted Brick. The objective was to create a 3D printed ceramic facade system that was a play on the standard brick and make it unique in shape and make the system freestanding. Look at their material, earthenware grog white clay. The 3D printed nature of the construction provides a woven quality to the wall. The standard brick was twisted 180 degrees and warped once configured into the woven system, making each brick unique. What an amazing collaboration. Next, we head to New York to our friends at Parsons School of Design. And our talented student is Bingxing Yu, great portrait. And she's graduating mid-May of 2020. And her Best of Year Student Award is for Redefine. Bingshin's goal is to redefine the purpose of the chair. She wants it to play, to heal, to balance, to meditate, to connect, and create social interactions like these two here. With steel tube and plywood. Various postures serve various physical and mental statuses. Plus movement and balance activates the awareness of our mind and body. Up next from Hochschule Hannover, University of Applied Sciences and Arts in Germany, this is Marvin Kasper, who will be graduating at the beginning of January 2021. And his Best of Year design is, drumroll please, R50 Stumer Diener, a new take on the traditional ballet stand. This reinterpretation combines a clothing rack with a bench, making it a versatile addition for narrow corridors and dressing rooms. His materials were water-based lacquered MDF and powder-coated steel tube. Inspired by the 1930s tubular steel furniture, don't you love it? This ballet stand offers the aesthetic of classic design with a modern twist. And this looks like it's ready to be in production, and I need one. Next, this is Krishna Rinaldi, who just graduated end of October 2020, and he wins Best of Year for Pranama Easy Rattan Chair and Ottoman. The term Pranama means Purnama, or full moon in Sanskrit, and it reflects the nature of the chair's overall design and story. The chair blends natural rattan and metalworks to achieve contemporary aesthetic purity. Our next team comes from École Nationale Supérieure de Création Industrielle in Paris, France. This dynamic duo is Dorian Etienne and Cordelia Faure, graduating in June of 2023. And their Best of Student Award is Nuclei. Now, here's their story. They had the chance to meet the Kabalan Aboriginal tribe from the east coast of Taiwan, who are experts in the use of banana fiber. And the banana flesh, big waste from this traditional extraction, turns out to be interesting for its translucency and its graphic qualities. And by drying, refining, and stabilizing, the solidity of this plant's tissue is increased. And finally, this material is turned into a sober shape, inspired by the internal structure of the banana tree stem. Oh, and its limited series is available in 3 sizes. Beautiful story and beautiful outcome. The Tama Art University in Tokyo, Japan brings us our next Best of Year winner, and he is Zhang Yu, who will be graduating in January of 2022. And we are honoring his cover, a pour-over coffee maker set. His material is aluminum, and he explains that in the process of exploring forms, he covered various forms with 2 sheets of paper. We thought this set was beautifully conceived and looked ready to get out in the market. Bravo, Zhang! And next up, from Escuela Universitaria de Diseño, Innovación y Tecnología in Madrid, España, we have Celia Martin Torre, who just graduated in July this year. And her Best of Year award is for Kalon. Kalon is a jet-type smart helmet presented to the Laval brand and intended for motor sharing in cities. It has been designed with the complete safety and comfort of the user in mind, without neglecting innovation. Her materials were polycarbonate frame and antibacterial and hypoallergenic textile. Voronoi diagrams provide extra protection against impacts. Talon is the first smart helmet used in motor sharing, facilitating interaction through gesture control. Wow. In Pasadena, California, and he is Taining Zhao, graduating mid-May in 2021. And he's getting awarded for, drum roll please, Tri-Light, designed to provide many different lighting environments in a single space. And his imaginary client was a small apartment dweller. His materials of choice are aluminum, iron, plastic, and a magnet. There are LED chips which locate on both ends of the bars, so you can change the light direction just by rotating them. This looks ready for production indeed. A huge round of applause for all our Best of Student winners. These students care deeply about the future and the community, and they're exploring wellness, safety, new materiality, the whole lot. Now, wasn't it amazing and how much fun to hear about the process and their inspiration? They were certainly inspiring to me. Now, don't forget to tune in tomorrow at 1 o'clock for more Best of Year awards. This time, it's products. See you there. Hey everybody, this is Cindy Allen, and you just watched our first ever Best of Year Student Awards. Yay! And now it is my sincere honor to go live with Marta Benson, the president of Pottery Barn. And Pottery Barn, remember, sponsored the awards, so thank you. And Marta has also led the transformation and evolution of the Pottery Barn brand. We're going to hear all about it. And Marta, how are you?
Hi, Cindy. I'm excellent. Thank you.
It's so lovely to see you. Okay, this is my second time seeing you, but I'm already sort of like in love with you. So, but first of all, I want everyone to know that your initiatives have really transformed Pottery Barn, and we're going to get to that in the brand. But I want them to get to know you a little bit better too. So, give us the Marta Benson Cliff Notes version of your professional life. No pressure.
Okay, thank you, Cindy. Well, so I stumbled upon a career in retail, and I was a liberal arts major, a philosophy major at Wesleyan University, and I had no idea what I wanted to do after college. Yet I knew I loved beauty, art history, design, and I knew I loved entrepreneurial things, and I had some idea that I was interested in business, but I didn't know how to combine my interest in business with my interest in art and design. And it took me a couple of twists and turns, from working in an art gallery to working at restaurants in New York City to stumbling upon a career in retail. And it really fit because it's a left brain, right brain combination.
Right.
There's the creativity of brand and product design and bringing all that to market. And then there's the quantitative side and the P&Ls and the numbers and the margin. And I ended up just being relatively good at both. I would say there are people who are wildly more creative than me. There are probably people who are wildly more quantitative than me. But to be a good general manager, you need to have a little bit of both. And I've had a wonderful 30-year run working for some terrific brands that have had a sense of purpose, like Smith and Hawken, the organic garden company.
Love it. Yeah.
8 years. And I literally went from a seasonal phone order taker to a head merchant of the catalog. And then I spent 10 years at Restoration Hardware. Initially, when Stephen Gordon, the founder, was growing from only had 4 stores. I was selected to help merchandise these stores, but given I had a catalog background, I launched the catalog and later e-commerce division for Restoration Hardware, growing it from 0 to 250 million. After that,
Wow.
I became a CEO of a luxury brand in San Francisco called Gumps, which is a 150-year-old luxury department store.
Oh, gums. Are they around now or
Yes, they
anymore?
are. They are.
Yeah.
They're still hanging in. But,
Amazing.
Gums, I was nostalgic for quality and
Yeah.
authenticity. The privilege of Gumps was carrying all of these old world authentic brands. And then about 10 years ago, I joined the Williams-Sonoma Group, initially in a strategy and business development role. We have a family of brands and we have a great platform to help smaller brands grow. I led the acquisition of a beautiful Portland-based lighting company called
Oh
Rejuvenation.
yeah. We know, we love rejuvenation.
Super cool.
Yeah.
And I wrote a business plan for an internal startup of a monogramming gift business that really celebrated great typography. So about 5 years ago, I was asked to engage with the Pottery Barn brand. And Pottery Barn is our largest brand, but 5 years ago, it wasn't growing. And so the opportunity to rebuild the culture, the sense of purpose, and to get it growing again has been the opportunity of a lifetime. And we are on that journey and having some success. And I look forward to telling you a little bit more about that later.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, was that like was that a big decision in your life to say yes to that? You've obviously had many successes, right?
To say yes to Pottery Barn or
Yeah,
to,
yeah, to say yes to like, right, you're gonna like evolve this brand.
yeah. Well, I would say that I consider myself an entrepreneur, and I used to
Right.
tell our CEO that the strategy and business development job was my dream job because I got to leverage all of our resources to work on beautiful, smaller, help incubate and grow smaller brands, which is super fun and very entrepreneurial.
Yeah.
However, I've realized that if I was going to make a contribution to Williams-Sonoma Inc., really renovating and working on its biggest brand would add the most value to the company. So I'm someone who's motivated by challenge. I get, if I'm doing the same thing for too long, I can get a little bored. So
Yeah.
for me, the challenge, I love a good challenge. And I thought, okay, why not? Let's do this. And so initially, it's funny, initially it wasn't really my brand. And I was like,
Right.
I'd worked for every other brand and I was like, it's not my brand. I don't really get it. But I fell in love with the brand as I worked with it. Its DNA of comfortable, casual, accessible, good design at a value. So we can really invite more people into our brand. And I have fallen in love with the brand and the team, and I'm very passionate about it. But initially, it was a little bit more of an academic challenge. It's like, okay, sure, professionally
Right.
do this, but
Right.
I have since fallen in love with it
Yeah,
because of the
I could
team
see
you
you.
build. When
Yeah.
you build a team and a culture, then it becomes, self-feeding.
Yeah, that's the thing for folks out there, because like Marta and anyone who's around her, because I've heard it like so many times, is just like so inspiring. So, some of this conversation is like, take heed because there's some good notes. So what was that? Was the first thing to rebuild a team? Was that the first thing?
A couple things.
Yeah.
One was to really go to the mountaintop and say, who are we? What do we want to be famous for? What is in our DNA? I think the brand had gotten a little stuck and gotten a little tops down and gotten a little bit just not inclusive, not collaborative. And it meant sort of going to the mountaintop to say, what are our true values? What do we stand for? What is our clear positioning? And so to do that work, we called it our brand truth work, but to do that with a really inclusive cross-functional team so that we would work on it together. So it wasn't like, again, a tops down, like, well, Marta divined the strategy.
Right.
Now let me tell you the strategy.
Right. Right.
Or do
No.
strategic work in an
Yeah.
inclusive way and bring everyone along. When you land and get to the conclusion, everyone owns it and you have a much greater chance of being successful. So we did this brand truth work, which was very clarifying and sort of landed who we wanted to be, and then actually it's a work that you constantly revisit and you clarify. And I would say that over this past year, the senior team and I have really worked on just distilling it to like, what do we want to be famous for? And it's one, ideas and inspiration. The easy entry into our brand is our beautiful lifestyle images, those assets. You'll find them, whether it's on Instagram, on our site, in our catalogs, or beautiful vignettes in our stores. It's ideas and inspiration to do a project. Then it's about quality. We believe in enduring goods and designing it and building things to last. Ours is not the least expensive. Most customers think, even perceive us as expensive. Because imagine, even with an affluent customer, the average household income is about $110,000. Maybe they're furnishing 4 rooms on $110,000. They have a finite amount to spend. So we try to deliver great style, but also keep it accessible. And yet we don't want stuff in the landfill. We want quality. We want sustainability. So we're very proud of our supply chain, factory audits, environmental audits. We're increasing our penetration of reclaimed woods and woods, and organic cottons. And, so we're very, so I think, back to the how do we turn this thing around? It was like, focus on what are your values? What do you stand for? So ideas, inspiration, quality, sustainability, and then service. At the end of the day, what we care about is being really humble. It's not about us. We're here to serve our guests and help them make their home design projects and renovations and easier. And so our service ethic in our stores is something to be so proud of, or Josie's service ethic in our B2B organization, where they were like 8 brands, with 8 brands, we'll get to yes. I believe Monica coined that,
I love that. We'll get to yes.
So I think it's really rebuilding the positioning, clarifying, gaining alignment, and then rebuilding the culture. And that does sometimes team. People have to buy in to a inclusive, collaborative team where cross-functional partnerships are very important. It takes a village to get this done, and you have to respect all the different disciplines. There's no hierarchy of, this group's in charge and everyone else is subservient. No. Every single functional area has a role to play to delivering this promise. And so we got to be collaborative and respectful and build really a team and a team spirit.
What do you think, so we're talking about the evolution. What does Pottery Barn look like right now? Or what do you want people to understand it to be and see it that way?
Thank you. That's a great question, Cindy, because I will tell you, I think the brand, because it's been around a long time, I think it's stuck in people's minds as some kind of Hobby Lobby country kitchen thing. And if you see the work of, Monica Bargava and our product development team, the chic, rustic, modern, it's relaxed, it's casual, it's comfortable. It doesn't take itself too seriously. It's beautiful, it's restrained, it celebrates materials. There's a lot of soulful finishes. And I have to say that, again, I think we are, part of our job now is to get unstuck and to change people's perceptions of the brand. But I think what we're famous for is comfortable, casual, relaxed style. And I really believe it's as updated as any. I mean, when you see what we really are leading with in terms of our beautiful, relaxed sofas with wide arms and deep seats and very customizable. I mean, our boucle fabrics, all of our nubby and cozy textures, our reclaimed woods. I mean, so we have a lot of silhouettes that are more modern and cleaner, but still have a lot of soulful finishes. So again, that's what I hope people see is where we are today. But I know that, some people are like, oh, that's kind of traditional. I'm like, what's traditional about what we're doing today? I don't see it is that traditional, but I do think, there's a big market for traditional and maybe we're never going to be bleeding edge, leading edge. We are comfortable, casual. So I do think that, for us, our look is a little bit more of an updated, comfortable, casual, classic, timeless. When we ask our guests what's important to them, they want their homes to be welcoming, inviting. They talk about a feeling and they want to be relaxed and comfortable. They want to be able to put your feet up on the coffee table and not stress about it.
But I do know that Pottery Barn wants the design community to know that you support them and appreciate them.
Yes,
So,
absolutely.
and I know Josie's doing an unbelievable job, but just expand on that a little bit.
Sure. Well, first of all, the reason we all got into the home business is because we love design, and who
Yay!
leads the way but the interior design community. These are the leaders. They're at the tippy top of the pyramid. So we have a lot of respect for, the interior design community. Now, where do we fit in? I think we used to be a better resource to them, which meant that when they were doing one of their customers' homes, they knew they could go to Pottery Barn for the family room sofa. They could go to Pottery Barn for really great basics and beautiful, whether it was the hurricanes on the back patio or the beautiful, crisp linen sheets. I think that we used to be a better supplier to our friends in the interior design trade, where, I remember hearing people say, well, we'll use such and such a high-end brand for the master suite, but every other room is going to get, Pottery Barn, something a little bit more accessible, a little more affordable.
Right.
So I'd like to think that we can be a great provider to them. Also, we have our own sofa manufacturing. We have our own lighting factory. We can do a lot of custom work. I mean, Josie and her team, can have at their resources many makers and suppliers, so we can really customize and tailor things. So I think we can have a great, symbiotic relationship.
I don't think that designers know that. I don't think they know that the custom programs are available. And yeah. I think when they're working on a very complicated project that needs a lot of different levels of, in terms of price point, that you would be a great resource for them. So we want them to know that.
Yeah. But also, as you have covered the beautiful Chase Center, I think what was amazing was no one thought, well, how could Pottery Barn and Williams-Sonoma and West Elm deliver on all of that? And it was like, why? Because we have an incredible supply chain. Not only do we have the designers who can help tailor it, but we have the supply chain. So you end up getting such a great value.
The Chase Center was it, like telling that story about that is a complicated project, so much space, and that idea of working with Williams-Sonoma and Gensler and all the brands that Gensler didn't know that they would be working with all those brands and all the customization. And that was just so telling, which is why we want to tell more stories, right?
Great.
Yeah. So, okay. So there are a lot of things that you're doing in terms of what you kind of say pillars of your brand. And the reason why you sponsored our first ever Festive Year Student Awards. Yay! Because you're really passionate about supporting and developing talent from students, correct?
Absolutely. Well, so first of all, thank you for giving us the opportunity to support you on this initiative. It was such a delight to see not all of the submissions, but your finalists, your winners.
Yeah.
We all need a talent pipeline.
Yes.
And we have, invested in an internship program ourselves to source really great talent. And some of those interns are in product design and have gone on to work on our product development teams.
Yeah. Students also need that opportunity. They need that chance. And, so for us to expose it, there's nothing like exposing great talents. Okay. So then I want to ask you, all right. So I want to know what some of your favorites were. Oh, first of all, you need to know this. So this is the first time we've done this competition. I know it's going to explode next year, but there were 23 schools that submitted, and wow. There were 17 countries represented. And then we ended up picking our favorites from 13 schools. So that's kind of amazing. I think that's kind of amazing.
To be honest, okay. Yeah. When you sent it to me, I couldn't believe how global the scope was. I was so impressed. Everything from Paris to Pasadena to the United Arab Emirates to Spain to
China to New York City.
Yeah, that
That's
speaks.
that's who we are. That is who
That's
we
your
are.
global, you have a global footprint. I was
I
very,
know. And the one thing that like sort of breaks my heart is that, when we do best of year, so tomorrow's products, which are like 100 categories, and products the next year, it is so global, Marta, that typically people come in from all over the world. They don't know if they've won. And they come in and they're with everybody, and then they just become part of the family. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it is kind of amazing. So these kids don't have this opportunity this time, but still they're the first. So there's something about being the first.
yeah.
So, okay. So you got to tell me some of your favorites. Let's chat a little.
Okay, well, I would tell you that I don't know if, however, the team that sent me the files,
Yeah.
the first one I opened, I found to be so delightful. And that is the project called Walkie,
Walkie.
Ando Moro Medina.
Yes.
I loved his whole, and not just his concept, but his storytelling and how he took a concept, it had an arc, it had a story, it was playful, it was delightful. He talked about curiosity and interaction and personality. And then his execution of the actual bistro chair with the feet was just beautiful, well done. And then the way he positioned the story and shot the chair in all the different locations, I was like, it was kind of like A+ from concept to execution to presentation. And I was like, wow, like, yes.
I completely agree. I was like so smitten. First of all, he's from SCAD, and SCAD, they're, super open and creative, and they're always allowing designers to like push themselves into the things that they love to do. But you are right. And it's like kind of a great example for other people to see, like having a narrative, having the product, the product has so much spirit. I know exactly, the name, the whole thing. And then the fact that he presented it so well. I mean, A++, right? Okay.
Yeah.
We love Walkie.
No. So that one, yeah. And also just, you can't underestimate, as a merchant, the power of storytelling.
Right. I agree.
Products have to have meaning.
Right.
We can buy products anywhere, everywhere, 24/7, right? What makes a product resonate? It's
I agree.
The power of the story is like that's where I grew up as a merchant, like finding products with stories. And so
I agree.
I
agree. I'm always telling, so just so you know, so I'm always telling designers and architects to photograph the story, not just document the project. Give me the story visually, right? Like, anyway. Okay. So what's the next thing?
Okay. The next one, I think I want to give a shout out to the French duo that created the beautiful, they were called the mood lamps. And it was
banana leaf.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
So the banana, figuring out, doing the work, the hard work to figure out how to use those materials, the stem of the banana trunk, whatever.
Right.
And then, so I think this is a very important theme, which is the exploration of the use of new materials. And particularly if they're environmental materials, like an invasive weed or this or that. But I thought that French, those lamps were so artful, and the use of the banana trunk stem or whatever. I was just like, I thought it was really, really, really refined and elegant, beautiful execution. So
I sort of joked in the presentation because I kind of loved that they said, it's a limited edition, available in 3 sizes. There's a good message there for students, because I hear from, folks in the industry that say, as a young person, go explore the world, right? Yeah. And because they did, and they met this tribe, that they learned about the banana leaf, and they learned, oh my God, we could do something with this. I mean, that's that's kind of living your best life and making design from it. So yes, I completely agree. And the idea of sustainability and all that. Okay, give us another one.
Okay. So then another one I thought was very, really impressive was the Twisted Brick from the Canadian school group, the duo that did the 3D printed facade system. Like that mind blowing. Like take an object like reinvent the brick. Now, how, like that's hard. That is not a simple task. It's got to
Right.
fit hand. It's got to be able to be worked on together. I thought that was just not only beautiful, but hard and interesting. And again, it speaks to this innovation of how we move building materials forward. And I thought that was very, very well done. Very.
I did too. And it was also a great message about collaboration because they were a trio and they were exploring something that was obviously very, very complicated. And we don't know all the details, but I'm sure each of them like brought something else to the table. And we talked all about the future is collaboration. So I thought, and it was so beautiful, the detail of the material, because we kind of broke down the presentation. So I wanted everyone to kind of see what materials they selected. That detail of the material, that earthenware, grog, white clay was like, whoa, gorgeous, right?
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
give us one more. I know they're all fantastic, but
yeah, no, they all are. But okay, my last one reference point would be, I thought that the student named Di Lu from China, and particularly the tissue box, the way he just so elegantly took and innovated around just a dumb average household basic and turned it into this sublime thing of beauty. And it was just so restrained and beautiful and elegant. And I just was like, okay, that works too. That was just very, very, very special.
Yeah, I completely agree. So he submitted like 5 or 6 products. And, you know, if you do the typical thing and you like him, you kind of pick one. And Helene and I, we were like, no. This shows his mind. So his mind obviously likes small things, but he loves the detail and what his design does to something else. Because he talks about, it was a little hard to see it in this, but he talks about like, depending how you pull the tissue paper out, it creates a different pattern. I mean, come on, that's enough to make you cry just on a tissue paper holder. But it's lovely that you can have a beautiful object that's a necessary object, as you said. And wait, I have to say that the pencil sharpener also was so beautiful because he cared about, he called it the crumbs of when you sharpen a pencil, and he made them into florets. I mean, God is in the detail, and he really, really, God in design is in the detail, and he really gets it, right?
Yeah. I was very impressed. I think the consistent quality of thought and work, is really to your credit at Interior Design Magazine that, these students are all engaging at a very high level. It's very impressive.
Yeah, we were really, really, really proud, and so proud that you want to like kind of go on this journey with us, because we want to do more things together, and knowing how strongly your belief system is that, because maybe there's something that'll end up happening with one of these products. Who knows, right?
Yeah, I mean, hook us up with Mr. Walkie.
Oh, done. It's done. It's done. I want a prototype. Okay, so I mean, we've talked about design, we've talked about the next gen. There also, you've also talked about your initiatives with diversity, and I know that you're doing some important things right now.
Absolutely. I think we were all sort of rattled and shaken to our core this summer with the tragic events that really kind of have stimulated a great awakening around some of the systemic issues that are creating racial injustice and these issues. So we have a 3-pronged racial equity and kind of plan. And first it was finding some terrific philanthropic partners because we could just support their work, right? And everyone from the National Urban League to the NAACP to the Jackie Robinson Scholarship Fund. But the second piece of it is around representation. And we're committed to increasing representation in our, amongst all of our associates. We do well in some of our pockets of our business, and we need to do better in others. And our CEO is very committed to driving that representation at the highest levels of our organization. And that means that as we have a pipeline for candidates, we really it's just absolutely a requirement that we consider diverse people with diverse backgrounds. So we have a lot of commitments to do there. Next is we're focused on collaborations, and whether it's influencers and product collaborations with people of color. And so those projects are underway in all of our brands.
That's great.
And then the next prong is really about education and making, just inspiring people to learn and to understand their unconscious bias, and really trying to work on culture and education. So we definitely are taking this seriously. And we're an organization that has done a lot with women's equity issues. We have some of the top results in terms of women in leadership. We have a female CEO, female CFO. I think
Look at you.
there's a greater likelihood that your CEO's name is Dave than they are a woman, because in the Fortune 500, there's only like 7% have women CEOs. But we've been leaders around the LGBTQ plus. I mean, we were very outspoken around marriage equity and access to that. And so, but this now is the next, we have to do better with racial justice issues. So we're taking it head on, and with our CEO's sponsorship. I mean, it's we're excited to I think it's early days, but we want to make a difference.
That's wonderful. It's wonderful to hear. And this is kind of a new relationship for us too. And it means a lot that you're digging in to support the design community, that there's access for the designers to do really amazing projects together with you guys, that you're supporting social inequities in this world, that you're encouraging young designers and want their talent, right? Like I want their talent, you want their talent too, and in different ways. So, which is fantastic. And Marta, you're just an inspiration, honestly.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Well, this is an ecosystem, right? The interior design community, the design media, the retailers. I mean, we all intersect, and the extent to which we can support each other, it's just win-win.
I agree. So for everyone out there, first of all, we're super delighted. Our first ever Best of Year Student Award Design winners, that Pottery Barn sponsored it, that we have this wonderful relationship with them. We're so excited for the students. And I'm like, they better be posting on social and doing all that good stuff, because they must be super excited. But then just going forth in a positive direction for 2021, because we can't wait to get out of 2020, honestly.
Yes, yes, bye-bye.
Right, but we really look forward to doing more together and getting to know you better. And we appreciate you so much.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, Cindy, for the work you're doing, and congratulations on all of your big milestones, your best of year. I mean, you must be completely swamped with all of the great recognition that you're doing to support all of the top architects, designers, product people in our industry.
Manufacturers, everybody. We're just throwing the love out there, because because they deserve it. They deserve it. So okay, so I'm sending you a big virtual hug, Marta.
Okay.
I look forward to our next conversation, and look forward to all the good things that you're going to do. And to everyone out there, sending you love and positivity for the new year.